Hello everyone, thank you for coming back. Fair warning, this video is going to be a long one. I have a lot of information, but I'm really excited to talk about it, and I think you will be too. On the agenda today, we're going to talk about audiobook recordings, reviewing some of the information in previous videos, discussing some of your comments, and finally, probably the most exciting on the agenda, I have never before seen proof of at least 2 Mandela effects, and I know you haven't seen it because I found the evidence and recorded it myself. So, let's get started. So I told myself I was not going to write a script, only these bullet points to help me remember what I wanted to go over with you guys so that way I don't deviate off course. I know that sometimes I get stuck on these ideas and I ramble on and I forget what the point was that I was trying to make, even if it was a great point, such as the story of Nibiru and the Lost Books. The whole point of that story was to explain how Nibiru had 4 moons called the North, East, South, and West winds. When it entered our solar system, 3 moons were given to Nibiru by Saturn or Jupiter, which were then used against Tiamat. Tiamat was, again, the original Earth. She had like 11 or so moons, and 1 stayed with her, Kingu, which is the moon that we have now, but 10 of those moons were like jetted off wherever or bashed up. Half of Earth was bashed up, and that's what created the asteroid belt. So 3 of those moons that were given to Nibiru were used against that planet. Since we're on the subject, I was looking into the Lost Book of Inky because of what I was discussing in that one video, and since that day I started reading the book again, and I decided, you know what, there's not an audiobook of this because, trust me, I looked. So I'm going to make an audiobook and I'm going to post those on my page or my channel. And if you guys want to listen to it, of course, you're more than welcome to. I personally purchased the book. I think Zachariah Stitchin's passed away, who's the author, so I'm sure it's fine. If you want to read it or have me take the time to read it to you, definitely, feel free to tune in and listen. I know another story that really just piqued my interest was the Book of Enoch, and I think those were found with the Dead Sea Scrolls, so I might do those next. I don't know. I'll search for it, see if it's already out there. If it's already out there, I probably won't do it because I want to do stuff that's not already out there that people might not already have access to, so that way it introduces new information into the world. Alright guys, moving on. The next thing I want to talk about is what I labeled the Black Knight satellite. This is the original image. I'm going to go ahead and enhance it. And all I did is, blow up the contrast. We changed some of the colors, looked at it differently. For all I know, it could be a comet. I really don't know. It just has the shape of what I thought the Black Knight satellite looked like. But I just want you guys to know that, well, for one, I've received awesome support from the community. I mean, very inspirational comments, comments that are offering inputs, opinions, your own memories, and some people even offered, little tips like, hey, look this up, or, look into this, you might be interested in that. Your interactions with me and the comments is uplifting and greatly appreciated. Not only does one not feel alone in a world of illusions, but it creates a weighted anchor on a sense of reality. Like I said though, there was amazing comments, a lot of rich information. I had several people offer evidence and other mythological stories relating to the topics we discussed in my previous videos. So you guys know, I do actually research the tips, clues, or knowledge you have to offer. One comment that stood out to me was offering an alternative on the blue object I caught in the sky, which I referred to as the Black Knight satellite, which, by the way, I didn't mention in the last video. If you have not already seen that really crazy, super long or mini movie commercial by Pepsi on the Black Knight satellite, you need to check it out. It's like 10 plus minutes, but it's really worth your time. I think I saw it when it first came out because I watched like a trailer commercial for the mini movie commercial, whatever it is. It actually does relate to what we're talking about today and in the past. So it's definitely a little out there, but it's worth the watch. Anyways, back to the awesome comment that was added. It was by Clace Wittenby, and I'm very sorry. I'm gonna admit I probably just butchered your name, so I'm very sorry about that. It was a simple suggestion. It said, check out the blue kachina. This is, what I found after checking it out. This is the very condensed version of the story that I'm going to be giving you. But the story goes, it was told to me that first the blue kachina would start to be seen at the dances and would make his appearance known to the children in the plaza during the night dance. This event would tell us that the end times are very near. Then the blue star kachina would physically appear in our heavens, which would mean that we are in the end times. This is where the changes will begin. They will start as fires that burn within us, and we will burn up with desire and conflict if we do not remember the original teachings and remember the peaceful way of life. Not far behind the twins will come the purifier, the red kachina, who will bring the day of purification. On this day, the earth, her creatures, and all life as we know it will change forever. There will be messengers that will precede this coming of the purifier. They will leave messages for those on earth who remember the old ways. This resonates with me because I have been considering moving into a simpler way of life and working towards achieving a minimalist lifestyle. So the next comments that I would like to respond to as a whole is the flat earthers. I know, it's so crazy. Help me see your point of view, please, because I consider myself very open-minded. I'm not going to shut anyone down that says, look, I have proof. I can prove to you these things because, that's how science evolves. And what keeps science from evolving is that you have the elders of science saying, this is the way it is because, we deem this to be law. And anything outside of this square box is not law. And I think that science has been held back due to that, we're stuck in our old ways mindset. And without that young spunk, without that craziness just thrown into the pile every once in a while, I think that we probably wouldn't get that far. We probably wouldn't be as far as we are now because a lot of the inventions we have are because somebody was inspired to create something that wasn't of the norm. A lot of the laws and the rules in science and theories we have are theories that might not have been acceptable in a time where gravity wasn't known to exist, or the sun revolved around the earth, whatever it might be. So if you have a specific belief, I want to hear about it and I want to have a conversation, and I'm willing to learn and hear your point of views. I'm going to be very honest with you, though. I believe myself to be open-minded, but I'm having this barrier telling me, Jessica, the earth is round. Because I can go stand out on the beach and see, from the water, how it's actually curved. And I guess maybe because where I'm at, I'm in Florida, it's all flatlands. Like, we don't have big mountains that are just everywhere obscuring the views or whatever. So you can actually stand on top of like the hospital, which is probably I think like the highest building, and actually see the curve of the earth. So in my mind, I'm just having this really hard time putting that together, especially when I have a camera that I can zoom right into the moon on, and I'm looking inside craters, and I can see that the moon is a ball. And I go to the SOHO cameras, which I don't know if you guys know about that. You guys can go to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and look up all sorts of stuff through NASA. But the SOHO cameras are the Sun Observatory sets that are out there, and you can see the sun is round, and it's a big round ball. Of course, I don't know how real that is, and I know that one of the objections to that is, being in a dome. So, like, really, we can't, like, get out from the dome. And I know that there's even, and I specifically think it's the Hopis as well, that have the idea that, we were on the back of a sea turtle floating through space. So, I mean, anything's possible. But talk to me, tell me your proof. I do like to hear it. I'm gonna admit to you, I'm having that wall barrier. It's my own personal cognitive dissidence. Since we're talking about cognitive dissidence, this is the inability to accept new information because it goes against your current beliefs. It is easier for the brain and your subconscious mind to expel information that opposes a current belief than it is for the subconscious mind to consider the new information, especially if that belief is emotional. Such would be the case with religion or political views. However, people who are affected by the Mandela effect can no longer allow this rejection of information because for all we know, it could be the current reality. In addition, we have strapped our proverbial eyes wide open in the hopes of recognizing new changes or potential residues even. Personally, I think that this self-training of accepting all information and then carefully comparing it to the current understandings and historical memories, not only of your own but of others, it's just really good exercise for the soul and for our energies, or whatever you want to refer to them as. But in the end, I feel that these exercises are going to bring us as a group to a higher level of enlightenment or knowledge, which is a very, very powerful tool. So let's get on to the fun stuff. The new Mandela effect proofs. Looking for new Mandela effects is not really my cup of tea per se, but definitely going out and discovering evidence, finding residue, proving or disproving. Those are definitely things that I can do. And one of the Mandela effects that I'm going to talk about today is the village people. Do they have 5 or 6 members? I'm pretty sure there was only 5. I definitely don't remember 6 people. Everyone, well, maybe not everybody in the Mandela community, but a lot of people that are discussing the village people subject in the Mandela community do believe that there were originally only 5, and supposedly there is 6 of them. I was surprised by that, definitely. So this one I chose to look for some residue because it was one that I was affected by. And I came across this picture and I said, okay, Jessica, you're tired? Recount. Recount again. Sure enough, there is only 5 people in this picture. Only 5. As tired as I was, there's still only 5 here. But you know how when you search Google and you pull up like images and you're scrolling through the images, you can click on an image, and then if something really excites you, you can like click on the article that is associated maybe with that image or where it possibly came from. That's what happened on this one. This is the article that the image leads you to. It's from Pop Matters, and the article's by Christian John Wykane. It's called Under the Hard Hat, an interview with Village People's David Hodo. So, doesn't really sound interesting to me. I do absolutely love music, but I'm not going to take my time to read this article, guys. It's just not my sort of thing. I have hard evidence, so I want to share that with you guys. This article was written by USA Today. Anthony Daniels confirms it. C3POs always had a silver leg till now. And this was published in 2015. Again, December 2015 by USA Today. So USA Today starts out the article with a headliner. I'm assuming it's going to be a quote out of the article saying, "It's true, before The Force Awakens, C3PO always had a silver leg or a silver shin." And I thought this was kind of interesting. This little story it goes into here says, Daniels recalls even John Ray came up to me one day and said, "Why are you wearing a silver leg today?" Now, he was the stills photographer, and he hadn't noticed. It would reflect the gold leg, and it would reflect in the desert. So it acted more like a mirror. So you're saying that's why it's reflecting back gold. Okay, interesting. Fair explanation. I would say that it actually does make sense. I recorded this video for us. I decided one morning I just wanted to go to the antique store, and I figured I'd be able to find, proof of Mandela effects there. So I found the Star Wars book, and you see me flipping through it, trying to get you to the date here. And once the camera focuses in, you're going to see the copyright date of 1999 by Lucasfilms Ltd. CPO3, whatever his numbers are. Lucasfilms, DK, little outlines, boring stuff. Me flipping through the good sticker pages. So you guys can see these are like really some of the originals. And here's our guy, C3PO. He's got him some golden legs. Interesting. But I went ahead and I took some stills of it because I could, of course, use my flash. And this is a picture of the cover. You can see a Star Wars sticker book. Then you can see here, in better light, that he does in fact have 2 gold legs, shins, feet. He's actually all gold. And this little guy here, just in case, he's not the C3PO. He's RA7 protocol droid. He's more of like a brass-ish colored. And then here's a more zoomed in photo. You can see it is in fact C3PO again. He does have 2 gold legs, 2 gold feet. This next one I have for you hits a little bit closer to home because I loved Disney when I was growing up, and I don't know, I definitely remember Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, regardless of what anybody says, but I did watch the video. It does in fact say Magic Mirror, and I have that proof for you as well, but I just wanted to show you guys, because it kind of surprised me. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs came out in 1937. That was like forever ago. I wanted to show you guys too that I went to the Disney website and I searched Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, and 261 results came up with this saying in it. So I started going through the results, and this is what it came up with. So for Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, it still comes up with Magic Mirror on the Wall, Magic Mirror, even in some of their other videos. But it all seems pretty consistent that they're adamant it is in fact Magic Mirror. So I just wanted to run this quick search just to be 100% sure in case there wasn't something that we were missing before I disclosed this next piece of evidence. So everyone's probably seen the movie and these clips that are showing Magic Mirror on the Wall. I'm sure you guys didn't really need all the refresher courses on the current reality, because I'm sure you've seen them time and time again like I have. But I just wanted to show you guys what I found here at the antique store. So as you can see, this is Snow White, and I'm showing the receipt. I didn't get the receipt for the Star Wars book. I just wasn't thinking about it, but you can see February 4th, I just bought it. I was so excited when I found it, and it was a whopping like $5. What you do? Of course, this is me struggling to do it with one hand, hold the camera. I have a bipod, or a tripod, it just wasn't angling correctly for me or anything. But here's the book. It is a See, Hear, and Read, and it was a book to help children learn to read. But what I did is I went ahead and focused on, this is an actual Walt Disney Productions. and you'll see the famous Buena Vista Productions, or whatever it's called. This is actually an old record, you know, the predecessor to the fancy CDs we have today. And I just love this picture of these kids sitting here playing with the record player. It's just so old. But the only place that I could find a date within the book was on the actual record. So the little children playing with the record, and then showing you guys this is the actual Snow White record that came with the book, and it was copyrighted in 1977. And again, you see the famous Buena Vista Distribution Company. So anyways, here's the inside of the book, and you can see Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. And again here, it does say Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. And again here. That's all I have for you guys today. The picture you're seeing is a picture of the moon. It was taken during a full moon with my camera, the Nikon P900. Absolutely beautiful. This picture, believe it or not, I was able to zoom into one of the craters, and I found this weird pyramid structure. So if you guys are interested, it's actually the next picture up. Boom. Very odd pyramid looking thing. But anyways, thanks for stopping by. If there's anything you guys want me to research, if there's anything you guys want to know about, if there's anything Mandela specific that you found that you want to share, if there's anything that I might have missed, please leave it in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you agree with the proof or the information I've put out there. Let me know if you disagree and you think I should have gone a different direction. If you have a great idea, you want me to look into it, let me know what it is. I appreciate all the inspiration you guys are putting forward. I think you're an awesome community, and thank you for allowing me to be in your lives for the length of this video. Good night, everyone.